Hello, today we're going to learn about the skeletal system, axial and appendicular divisions. Axial and appendicular. Axial skeleton, that consists of the head and the trunk. The appendicular skeleton, that is of the four units of shoulder girdle, upper extremities, pelvic girdle, and lower extremities. Axial divisions of the skeleton again. The head is consisted of the cranial bones, which is the frontal, parietal, and temporal. The facial bones, mandible and maxilla. Other are the ossicles of the ear and the hyoid. Infant skulls have the fontanelles or soft spots. These soft spots will eventually go away. The trunk, vertebral column, is the cervical, there's 7. There's thoracic, there's 12 vertebrae. The lumbar has 5 vertebrae. And the sacral is fused, 5 fused bones. And then you have the coccyx at the very bottom, which is 1. 4 to 5 fused into 1. The trunk, or the thoracic, called the thoracic, is consisted of the sternum, the ribs. You have the first 7 pair are what we call the true ribs, and then the remaining 5 are the false ribs, including the 2 floating ribs, 2 ribs that do not connect to the cartilage. Extremities with the shoulder and the hips. You have the shoulder girdle, which has your clavicle, or what we sometimes commonly call the collarbone, and the scapula, which is called the shoulder bone, or you might hear of it as the shoulder blade. The upper extremities. You have the humerus. That's the upper arm bone, the ulna, the forearm bone on the side of the little finger. The radius, the forearm bone on the thumb side. You can think of this as the thumb radiates. You can move the thumb in a radiation motion, so the radius. Think of your anatomical position with the thumbs being out. The carpal bones in the wrist, you can remember that. You steer a car with your hands. So carpal. Later on we'll talk about tarsal bones. They are in your feet and you walk on tar. So you steer a car, carpal bones. You walk on tar, tarsal bones in your feet. Metacarpals, those are in the hand. And then you have phalanges, which are your fingers. The pelvic girdle. You have the hip bone, 3 parts, ossicoxo, and ilium, the upper flared upper part of the pelvis, the ischium, the lowest and strongest part. Then you have the pubis, which is the anterior part joined by a joint called the symphysis pubis joint. Moving on to the lower extremities. We have the femur, the thigh bone. That's the longest bone in the body. You have the patella, your kneecap. Then you have the tibia, which is your shin bone, the longer and stronger one compared to the smaller one on the outside called the fibula. Fibula is non-weight bearing bone. The tarsal bones, again, you walk on tar. Tarsal bones in the foot. The calcaneus, that's your heel bone. And your metatarsals make up the framework of your instep of your foot. And then you have the phalanges, again, in the feet, just like you have your hands, you have phalanges, which are your toes. That concludes our skeletal makeup PowerPoint, and you can also click on this link to in the file for a short video that's kind of comical. And that's it. Thank you.